Hey guys, so welcome back to another video. Today we're finally working on the motor again. I ordered a whole bunch of parts, more or less smaller stuff, some medium-sized parts. So let me just stop talking and show you what I got and what we're going to be doing. The motor, it's been covered up forever now. It's all dusty, haven't touched it in a while. Some of the parts I got, so let's see, got a new oil pan, came with the gasket. The oil pan on it was fine. I cleaned up the inside as much as I could. There's still gunk in there. And on a side note, I also got the heads back. Those are like really clean, and I was like, well, I don't want the heads being the only thing that's clean. And the oil pan on that's pretty gunky and nasty on the outside, so I thought I'd get a new one. So I'll get to replace that. I got ARP head bolts for the heads, just as a, why not? Since I'm already doing everything else. Got some head dowels for head to cylinder, head to block dowels. And then just got a whole bunch of sensors, like oil pressure sensor, coolant temp sensor, crank sensor, stuff like that. I think I'm still missing one more that I need to grab. And then also I grabbed a new rear main seal with, it's the whole cover. So let me show you guys that if I can get it out. And before I got this stuff, I mean, like for the front cover you guys seen in a previous video, I just replaced the seal in the front cover. If I didn't replace the seal already, I would have probably got a new cover just so it can match everything else. New back cover, new oil pan, and then new heads, obviously. But it is what it is. I'll rock that front cover anyways. You won't see it because of the water pump. But let me get this uncovered and again start to get the old oil pan off and get the new sensors on. So here's a motor, figure out what it looks like. It's just a typical LS lq4, and then I mean, yeah, if this is your first time watching, this is a 6.0 lq4 that's going into my single cab. It currently has a stage 1 BTR centrifugal blower cam. Excuse the horses. Okay. That blower cam, which I eventually want to go a pro charger. I did have supercharger. You can go watch those videos. Cam, new oil pump, lifters, push rod, springs, whole cam kit, whatever. Sensors need to get changed out, or crank, cam, whatever, which one. I need to get these oil switch sensor rig cover you guys saw. This one that I can just bolt on to the new pan, since I'm just gonna get rid of this pan, and you can see this one's all crusty. Other sensor, and I believe that should be it. I'm gonna try and clean up the cylinder mating surfaces a little bit more. This one's not too bad. I cleaned this one up before. It's this one that needs a little bit more work. And then, oh, I also got these knock sensors. I'll have to go get those from inside. And I also have the valley cover gasket. I'll probably end up cleaning this up too, since I cleaned up the rest of the parts. But let me get some of these sensors off and get them switched out. Here's the crank sensor. Old, new. You would think it doesn't look too bad, but it does have a little bit of gunk on it. So just go to replace everything while you're here, might as well. I know I am also talking really fast, but I've been waiting to put this motor together and put it in the truck for the longest time. So don't be surprised if I'm a little eager to get to all this. So I got the cam sensor and the crank sensor right there, new ones in. What I'll probably end up doing right now is getting off the valley cover so I can get these old sensors off, clean this up. It's like dark and oily. And I'm also going to be taking off the front cover again, and I need to align this gasket. It was a tiny bit off, I believe, last time. I need to take it off anyway so I can align it with the oil pan, and also take the rear cover off to get to the new one. But first off, let me get this off and I'll take the rest off. Hey guys, so it is the next day. I was working on the motor till it got dark. Last thing I left off on, I was taking the valley cover off to get to the knock sensors. I got one of the knock sensors off, but the other one is another story. So basically, let me just show you guys. So here's one of the old knock sensors. It's pretty crusty, but if you can kind of see, there's the top piece, which is this one, and then the bottom piece, which is this. When I was turning and getting the second one loose, it just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. I'm like, damn, is this shit stripped? and it looks like this top piece is just spinning freely. I tried all last night to get it off, couldn't. What I saw some people doing, they'd hit it with a flathead and just keep hitting it so it will turn and get off. So I'm gonna get the motor uncovered, try that, and see if I can get it off. So what I didn't want to happen happened. The top portion broke off of the stud, which, well, nothing I can do now. That's where I mangled it. So that piece is stuck there. There's a bit of it. I'm gonna see if I can twist it out with the pliers I have. If not, I'm gonna have to drill it out, drill in the center of it, and then go get some basically pieces to punch in there and then get twisted out. So let me try the first option and see if I can get that out. So I was losing hope. I was able to get it free, but I left it in there for now. I want to plug up this a little bit better, get this one out. There's another one under it. Plug that up, plug this one up, just so all that crud doesn't get in there either, and flip the engine over. So what I was first doing, I was grabbing the, like I said, the flathead and then beating it to get it loose, but it was just getting chunks and pieces off, which fucking sucks. So I was just thinking to run to the store, grabbing the bits, drilling it, blah, blah. I haven't done it, but it is what it is. What I thought of, I have these, they're new, but they were just sitting in the rain. This kit, it just got really rusted. When you get a strip bolts, I was hammering that on it, and I was actually able to break it loose. So, show you guys, it's off, it's loose. I'm gonna just, like I said, plug this up so I can get it flipped over and not let any of this inside the motor. Here's it flipped over. As you can tell, that was still leaking and how gunky and nasty this oil pan is. Hence why I wanted to change it. Obviously the leaking is from the bolt not having a washer or the crushed washer on there. And it is what it is, but you can see how nasty it was. So let me get this taken off, the rear cover taken off, and then the front, I'm gonna have to take it off to align the gasket that I had on there, and then give it a quick little cleaning like the rest of the parts and get everything slapped back on. So we got the front cover off, oil pan, and the rear cover. That's how crusty it was. That's not too bad, that can be cleaned up, but I have the new one there. The valley cover I need to clean up, and I also need to clean up the front cover because I don't have the new one. I just put a new seal on it. The back's obviously like that, and this is what the front looks like. So let me get these two parts cleaned up, and then I can start reinstalling everything. So I got the front cover cleaned as much as I can. I got it reinstalled, torqued down. I obviously old oil pan, new oil pan. I still need to install the rear cover. Let me get the rear cover off, align it here with the block, and then we'll get the oil pan on. I haven't been filming much because I've been trying to get this all done before I run out of daylight today. Obviously I still got that cover done, put the gasket back on there so I can get the oil pan on. I finally finished up putting on the back cover. That was a pain in the ass, having to use, where'd that little ratchet, and then getting to the bolts and all that. So that was a pain in itself. Now I'm just gonna put the gasket on there, and I think that'll be it for today, and then I'll just pick this up tomorrow so I can clean up the head surface, get those knock sensors put in on the top side, but it's on the bottom right now. And and the heads, obviously, once I finish up with the other things. So let me get the oil pan on and clean this mess up I have here. So guys, I worked on it till it got dark, like the day before. I was tightening everything up. I was tightening the oil pan. When I got to one of the last bolts, it broke. I did pick up another one, but let me show you guys which one did break. So it was one of these two long ones that bolts up to the rear main cover. It was this one over here. See if you can tell. It's hard to see, but it broke off. I did already throw away the remaining piece, so let me get the oil pan taken back off and see if I can get that out and get the new one installed. So let me get this taken off first. So that's where it broke. There's still enough where I think I can go ahead and grab it with some pliers and twist it out. So let me try that first. Got the piece out. There was still a couple more. I was comparing it to the new one I have over there. It still had a couple more threads to go, so I don't know if this was just too old or what, but thankfully there was still a good amount of a piece that was sticking out. I was able just to grab it with the pliers and twist it out. So let me get the oil pan back on again for like the 5th time, get that bolted down to the correct specs, and then we can start on the heads and the other half of the motor. So I got all the bolts torqued down. I put the new one on. I didn't want to risk it with the other old one, so I'm gonna just wait, order a new one, and get that installed once I get it. So for now, I'm gonna get this flipped over, clean up, or actually like this, I can clean up the pistons so everything just falls down and not inside. Clean the pistons, clean the head surface one more time, and then I can slap on the heads. So got this flipped around. I cleaned up the pistons decently. They're still like obviously build up on them, but it'll be fine. I cleaned up the head surfaces. I took out the dowels, cleaned up this area here for the valley cover, took out the old one that was stuck there, got it cleaned up. Now I'm going to put the new dowel pins in, go get the new knock sensors, valley cover, gasket, valley cover, and go get the head so I can get all that stuff torqued down. So let me go grab that stuff real quick. New dowel pins on both sides, all 4, and I brought the rest of the parts out here. The valley cover gasket with those 2 gaskets that go on there. The heads, I don't know if I showed you guys these already. Just gone through. Let's see if I can flip one over, the push rods. Just been redecked and gone through. And I also have the, where do they go? Oh, gaskets I've been having forever now when I first started this. So get those out of there, get those on the head, on the block, and then start putting the heads on, and I can start using the APR head bolts to tighten everything up, and then get also new knock sensors and all that stuff done too. So let me get to it. So got the head on. I'm setting up all the ARP bolts slowly. I just need 1 here and 2 more over here, and then torque everything down to spec. I have the paper over there. I'll probably try and turn on the lights I have up here so I can work through the night, at least for a couple hours, so I can get the heads on and the valve covers on so it's sealed. I'll worry about the rocker arms and everything else tomorrow. So let me get to it. Hey guys, so it is day 4 now. I did get the head all torqued down to the sequence. I'll show you guys that. It was a little nerve-wracking getting everything tightened up. I was scared of breaking it. Once you got to that 3rd interval of like 75 pounds, that shit was hard. So let me show you guys the head. Here's the head, mounts it up. This one's completely torqued down. I still do need to get the rocker arms in here and then get the valve covers on. I think I'm gonna do that before I start on the other head. So let me go get the rocker arms, the tray, and get those both on. Oh, and the push rods. So I got the rocker arms on with the push rods and everything. They're not tightened down. I'm gonna get the head on this side, just so I don't have to put another plastic bag on it, and I can just put the valve covers and then seat the valley cover, and I don't have to cover anything. Everything's pretty covered. I mean, there's these for the geez, why am I blinking? For the water pump, but I mean, I can just flush those out with water, obviously. I'll put tape on these, and then I can just put the intake on top. But let me get started on the other side. I guess, what did I do? The driver's side head. So this head's going a lot quicker, setting everything up. Obviously, I know what I was doing with that side, or I didn't know what I was doing, but now I do with this side. Just for reference, I don't know if you guys want, here's the part number. I obviously had trouble not finding them, but ordering the right ones. There's a part number 134-3609. I ordered some for was it LS6? They were all long style bolts. Let me show you. So there's the short ones, obviously, that go up top here on the where the intake goes, and then there's a shorter one, which is that one in the middle, and then these longer ones. So those longer ones, we have 3 in the middle here. I'm missing one more, so I'm gonna get one more in here. 3 here, and 5 down here. Those 2 short ones, you come with 2, well 4, because it's a set. But for the heads, 1 at the end, and then 1 at the front, or end, and then front. So just on the very ends on both sides is where the short go. And then as for how they are installed, let me see. There you can see it. There's the beveled side and then the not beveled side. The beveled side is supposed to meet up with the head. What they specify to do, you put. Let me see if I can do this one-handed. Let me grab one of these long ones. Grab one of these long ones. The beveled side is going to be touching the top of the head. So the beveled side, focus, goes in here like this. And then they tell you to put a little bit of that lube, grease, whatever, just so it helps it seal and you don't break. In between the washer and the head of the bolt, you put that there, and then you just put some on the threads, and then you can go ahead and throw it in there. And then the torque specs are, I'll show you the paper in a second. Let me finish up this, and then I'll show you the torque specs for the ARP bolts. See if I can get it to focus. Here's a better look. You put some of that in between the washer and the head of the bolt, and then on the threads I put a generous amount just because I'm not trying to snap these. So and then you just throw these in the hole, do it without making a mess, stuff it in there, and then like I said, at the two ends is where you put the shorts. You have the two short ones there, and then the rest, these smaller ones, obviously go up here. Here's the torque sequence. So the main head bolts, the ones at the bottom and the ones on the inside, you go from 25, 50, 75, and 75 is the final. And then for the ones up top by the intake, those only go to 25 at the end. So let me get to it. It does take a minute to torque all this down. I'm running at the daylight, so I'm gonna get this finished up tomorrow. I put the valve cover over it just to not have any issues with anything getting inside. Put the valley cover, and stuff some napkins in there, just put some tape over that, some tape over that hole. And then this side doesn't want to fit, so either just take these off or see what I do so I can just get this side covered as well. I got the exhaust ports, spark plug holes, intake runners all taped up. So I'm gonna pick this back up tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow will be the last day of this assembly, and we can get this this motor in the truck. This is day 5, hopefully final day of assembly with the motor. Let me turn the camera around and then show you guys what's going on. All this taped up last night. I'm gonna take off the tape where I need to. Obviously, I need to get these valve covers off to secure and tighten up the rocker arms, and start putting the new gaskets for the valve covers, get the knock sensors in, and everything else. So let me get this tape off and then get the rocker arms back on here and get them tightened up. So I've been trying, or I got these rocker arms installed. I've been trying the entirety of me being outside. The only issue is there's one of them that is really loose. I went ahead and tried cranking the motor over a couple times, and it's still just loose. I thought it would get into place or something, but I guess it's not bad. I'll just have to order a new one. They're about $15, so it's not too bad. I'll get that on the list, including the oil pan bolt that I still need. So I'm gonna move on to the valley cover, get that gasket on, get the valley cover, and get the knock sensors on, just so I can make some more progress. So I got it all sealed up again. I did get the new gasket, new little rubber pieces inside there. I do have the 2 sensors and the wire, but I have that in my room. I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this video. That's all the parts I really have with me right now. I still do need to order the water pump and the power steering pump. The other accessories, I'm gonna take off the current 5.3. They're basically new. I still do need to put on the coolant temp sensor. I do have that, but that can wait. I'm not too worried about that. And then there were the other things. I still need to buy this oil pressure sensor, and then I still need to buy the other oil pan bolt for the back. So I think that'll be it. Oh, and the steam ports, I have those. Those are on the old heads that I need to take off and then put those on the new ones. But I think that'll be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's pretty long and got some progress in on this. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.